I'm a man of mystery. You don't hear much about me. My son has taken the spotlight of me onto himself. I am Laertes, father of Ulysses. I am the son of Arcesius and Chalcomedis. Now, this might even be the first time you've ever heard of my name. At the moment, I'm living in a castle that is owned by my son Ulysses and his wife Penelope. Ulysses was crowned to become our new king when I thought he was ready. There wasn't a certain age I wanted him to become king, but my wife and I knew it was going to come sooner or later. Continuing on, Arcesius happens to be my father. He was the king of Ithaca before I came along. However, now my son is the right ruler of Italy. During some difficult times, my wife passed away. Her name was Aglaé. She was the best spouse I could have ever wished for. Caring and loving, I miss her dearly. I've fallen into a deep depression, and that's why I moved away to a little spot near the border of Italy. Money wasn't that big of a problem, so there was no need for a charge. I began a little farm, growing crops and nurturing them, as if they were my family. Death would have been better than my life at that moment. Then I could be with my wife again. During the times that I've lived, I've met great people and people who deserve to die. I've not entirely held any grudges against many people, though. There were a few here and there, but there aren't many specific people I would like to mention. There were also great people, like my wife and my. Now, she was the most amazing woman on earth. It shattered me when she met once, and it brought me to tears, and everything turned black and white. However, my will once recolored and the colors tinted back once again when my son Ulysses returned back from that misleading war. Ulysses is my son. During his childhood, we did everything together until he went out to war. His absence made me exceptionally depressed. My wife and I became so miserable and dejected that we slowly grew apart just from the grief of our only son. We had no clue whether he was still possibly dead or alive. We mourned for him. My wife even died from all the pain and heartbreaking weight on whether he was still living. I felt so lonesome that I moved into a little shack in the outskirts of Ithaca, all alone. I turned into someone no one no longer recognized. I slept on the floor of that mini shelter and barely ever ate it. But Ulysses came back, and I felt like everything was back to normal. Though it took a while to get Penelope back, since she had many different suitors, but with the help of Athena, she brought back my youth, and my son and I ended up killing all of her suitors, alongside with my wonderful grandson Telemachus. Ulysses should not die by far. He has served our fellow land and left to fight for us. Risking his life out there is enough to know that he's a great man and leader. He could have died, but he didn't. How fortunate. Like I mentioned before, he risked his life, and that's enough to know that he's a great leader, smart and cunning. He has everything a great leader needs. He has already qualified himself so much that we should all agree that he shouldn't die. Ulysses has told much about his adventure, starting off with one of the main points of his journey. He stabbed Polyphemus' eye to save his men. How much more risky could that have been? In so many situations, he has put his men in front of himself. Sure, he's made tons of mistakes in his life, but who's perfect in this shameful world?